Okay, let me just preface this by saying if you're a parent who is very concerned about what their children watch and you're trying to protect them, this movie is probably not a good choice. It's not super inappropriate, like, there's no innuendos or anything like that. It's not crass, but the problem is okay, so it's like the Lego movie. Let me just preface this. It's like the Lego movie, but far less clever. And if the Lego Movie advertised a bunch of R-rated movies, now I know sometimes they did that. Like Lego Movie 2 had like a Die Hard joke and a couple things like that, but that was never like a big plot point. There was just little like kind of like haha. But this movie, on the other hand, so many of the properties that they explore, because they go to all these different worlds. Basically the premise is that all of these different Warner Brothers movies kind of have their own little lands. It's like Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that. And a lot of the ones that they explore are movies that children aren't going to be familiar with and should not be watching. One of which was like Mad Max Fury Road was one. And they do that because everybody's made the joke for years that Mad Max was basically just a live action Roadrunner cartoon. So, of course, they have the Roadrunner and the Coyote in this movie. And while that is funny, again, kids aren't going to get that. And that is a very dark, very violent movie that they should not be watching. There's another example was The Matrix. So while that's probably one of the cleaner rated R movies, again, not really something a kid is going to be familiar with. There, of course, is Austin Powers, which is an incredibly crass, vulgar movie. There's a parody of Austin Powers. There's in the background, even, there's a part where all of the Warner Brothers characters that live in this vast serververse, as it's called, are coming together in the audience for the basketball game. And, in the background, you can spot things like Pennywise the Clown from It, which, of course, is a very violent, rated R movie. Demons from The Conjuring are in this movie. And I'm sure there's a lot of others. It's like, they do realize that this was supposed to be a kid's film, right? It's not like Warner Brothers has a shortage of kid-friendly properties. Like, there's the Lego Dimensions game, which, they have Scooby-Doo, they have The Wizard of Oz, they have Harry Potter, they have all of these, Tom and Jerry, they have all of these kid-friendly properties that they could have used, but they instead chose to do rated R movies for some reason. That was a little annoying to me, and frankly a little disturbing to me, because you're essentially advertising these rated R films to children. And the other thing I had a problem with it, there was a part, so, actually, it does not work well, because there was a part where all of these characters are coming together, and they're, running to the basketball stadium, and the Gremlins show up, and they get, super close to the screen, and this is, it's a giant movie screen, and there was a little kid in my audience that when that part happened, they freaked out so much and started crying that their mom had to take them out of the theater for the next 5 minutes or so because they could not stop crying because the Gremlins scared them so much. Did they not do test screenings for this movie? Did nobody look at this and go, this is incredibly problematic? We're basically doing, short trailers, essentially, for all of these incredibly inappropriate and violent movies and advertising them to children. So, yeah, that kind of angered me. And really, the writing, besides that aspect, it's a very lazy movie as well. They basically acknowledge that they're basically doing the same movie as they did the first time. In the dialogue, Bugs Bunny's like, "Oh, you want me to go with an NBA basketball star to fight aliens? Huh, something about this seems familiar." Hint, hint, wink, wink. See, we're acknowledging that we're doing the same exact thing as the first movie. Therefore, it's not lazy. And LeBron James is just so bad in this movie. And I think they realized that because there's a line in the movie where he's like, "Whoa, well, basketball star or athletes acting never works." Wink, wink. See, I'm a terrible actor in this movie, but it's my fault because I'm an athlete. You gotta forgive me for my bad acting because I'm acknowledging that I'm a bad actor. No, nuh-uh. Really, the only one who has any fun in this movie is Don Cheadle as the villain. He just has the time of his life in this movie. He's charismatic. He's funny. He's very flattering because he's basically kind of like the devil a little bit. He kind of lures people in to get what he wants, kind of flatters them away from, what they know to be right so that he can get what he wants. He's very good at that. he is a very good actor with that part. But that's it. Like, Don Cheadle's performance is really the only positive thing I have to say about this movie. And if you're looking to take your kids to it, don't. If you're one of those parents that's really concerned about the kind of things that your kids watch, don't. You're basically going to be advertising rated R films to them, which is very disappointing. So, yeah, honestly, I have to give Space Jam 2 a D, 4 out of 10, and 2 out of 5 stars. And that's only because of Don Cheadle. So I will see you for my Looney Tunes ranking soon.